They're exposing Rodney Jones, and they're exposing a past sex assault from 2005. Let's get into it.
Boy, they're really coming for Rodney Jones at this point. Now Tyrone Blackburn is having to respond to some of the allegations and information that's been put out there about Rodney Jones. Let's get into it. So the Daily Mail just published this article, and as we know, we've had the Diddy raids, no charges yet, quite yet, for Diddy. But then we did have the raids, which is interesting at this point. What have they come up with? What are they looking for? What evidence do they have? What is going to happen next as it pertains to Diddy? Well, Diddy's legal team is throwing shade at Rodney Jones' credibility at this point. And they're questioning a bunch of things and bringing stuff from Rodney Jones's past. So Combs' attorney pointed out that Rodney Jones was convicted of a reckless homicide in 2003 and that he has faced multiple charges that were later dismissed. Tyrone Blackburn, of course, has spun to his client's defense, responding to assault claims, reminding Page Six that a charge is not a conviction, which is absolutely correct. Couldn't you say the same with what's going on with Diddy right now? I mean, he hasn't been formally charged with anything. Like, we got to be careful with that, right? That's just my opinion. He later explained the homicide by saying that Jones accidentally totaled a car while driving, tragically killing his cousin who was seated beside him. So we went right to the source on Page Six. There's a battle of the character and the reputation of Diddy's accusers. Lil Rod Smith. One camp has been digging around on the producer who is suing the bad boy mogul for $30 million, claiming that he was forced to engage in sex acts and was drugged and groped while working for him. And he says has a history of troubling arrests and convictions that make him an unreliable witness. But Rodney Jones says that their fishing expedition is a callous attempt to smear Rodney Jones to weaken his case against. So Page Six saw some documents that basically show that Rodney Jones was charged twice with domestic assault, once in 2009 and once in 2014. He was also charged with a misdemeanor sex assault in 2005, and those charges were dropped. Tyrone Blackburn was asked about the record, and he told Page Six, "I'm sure you know that a charge is not a conviction. So running this story on behalf of Diddy's camp is problematic and calls into question your integrity as a journalist." I don't know. Guys, I'm so done with Tyrone Blackburn. I have thrown Tyrone Blackburn on the other side of the room. I don't want to, I don't know why this man thinks it's okay to question somebody's integrity when he has done a lot of questionable stuff in terms of his lawyering and integrity. Blackburn then told Page Six that Mr. Jones in July of 2003 reckless homicide occurred when he was 17 years old. He was driving a vehicle with his cousin in the passenger seat. The police pulled him over and he was afraid and drove off. It was pretty typical behavior of a young black boy in Chicago when pulled over by the police. As a result, he totaled the vehicle and his cousin, who was his best friend, died. Tyrone Blackburn then shares that he did not have adequate legal representation at the time, and so he pled guilty. He says he has to live with the death of his cousin, of his best friend and family member for the rest of his life. But don't let that stop you from running the story and getting your clicks. Blackburn then said Diddy's legal team can do anything to distract from the fact that he will be indicted soon. In February, Smith claimed in court papers that Diddy repeatedly sexually assaulted him while he was working on Diddy's latest album from September 2002 and November 2003. Well, let me just say that Page Six got the clicks. But let's put that aside for a minute. I was not aware that there were any type of charges brought. I mean, they were dropped, but any type of charges brought against Rodney Jones in 2005. I mean, nobody's really talked about that because in 2005, he would have been at least a young adult, 18, 19, if he was 17 in 2003. I mean, just a thought. What happened there? Just kind of the details. It was a misdemeanor sex assault. We don't have details to that, but it sounds like based on what the article says, they were dropped. What do you guys think about the situation? Is there more to everything that's happening? What do you think about Tyrone Blackburn's response? I mean, let me know. I had no idea that Rodney Jones also had some stuff in his past, which nobody's perfect, you guys. Nobody is. We all have a little something. We've all done something. But I kind of want to know what your thoughts are. I'll see you guys on the next one. Drop a comment. Rabbits out. Bye, guys.